Welcome to this explainer from Forge College. You know that feeling, right? You've done all this incredible research for a big project, but now you're just staring at a pile of notes thinking, now what? Well, today we are going to build the blueprint to turn all that raw material into a polished, powerful technical report. Let's get into it. So you've probably already done the hard work, right? You've got your raw materials, we're talking about a historical draft, some deep dive architectural notes, and of course, your capstone outline. These are the pieces we're going to work with. But okay, how do you actually connect all these scattered pieces into one coherent story? It can feel, well, a little overwhelming. It's kind of like having a box full of super high-tech parts, but no instruction manual. And here's the thing, the goal isn't just to list a bunch of facts, it's about weaving them into a narrative that actually makes sense. And that's where the right blueprint comes in. So let's build that instruction manual together. We're going to give you the master plan to assemble your capstone piece by piece. All right, section 1, your project components. First things first, let's take inventory of what we've got. Before you start building anything, you got to know what parts you're working with. So what's in our inventory? Well, you've got your capstone outline. That's basically the rules and the structure of the whole report. You've got your historical draft, which is a timeline of all the key Solana milestones. And you have your architectural notes, the real nitty-gritty on core concepts like proof of history, tower BFT, and turbine. These are your building blocks. Okay, section 2, the assembly blueprint. Now that we know what we have, let's head to the assembly line. This is where the magic happens, and we start putting it all together. We're going to tackle this in 3 simple passes. Think of it like this. First is the structural pass, where we build the skeleton of the report. Then comes the content pass, where we flesh it all out with your amazing research and analysis. And finally, the citation pass. This is where we add all the wiring that connects every single claim back to its source. So that first one, the structural pass, this is all about getting your document sections in the right order, from the title page all the way to the bibliography. And this is so crucial. It's not just about looking neat. It's about creating a logical flow that guides your reader through your argument, step by step. Next up is the content pass. And this is where you really shift your voice and tone. This is the transformation stage, right? You take all those scattered notes, the links you just dropped in parentheses, that informal language, and you elevate it. You turn it into a formal report with a professional tone, clear phrasing, and properly formatted citations. And this table, this is basically the spec sheet for our blueprint. You see those target lengths for each section, an executive summary under 300 words, an architecture overview around 1,000 words. Sticking to these isn't just about following rules. It forces you to be concise and sharp, making sure every word counts. All right, section 3, the quality control checklist. Look, before any product ships, it has to pass quality control, right? Your report is no different. So let's look at the checklist, the acceptance criteria it has to meet before we can call it done. First up on the checklist, the executive summary. The magic number here is less than or equal to 300 words, no exceptions. Brevity is everything. This is your entire report distilled down to its absolute essence. Okay, next, your historical evidence requirements. This part needs to be rock solid. We're talking at least 7 dated milestones in your timeline. Each one needs at least 1 good citation, and your total bibliography should have at least 10 sources, with a really important rule. At least 3 of those have to be primary source documents. Think white papers, official docs, the real stuff. And here are the core acceptance criteria, the real non-negotiables. Is the whole structure there? Title page, table of contents, the whole shebang? Have you explained all the key architectural components? Is there a section that clearly links at least 4 historical events to design choices? And is your citation style consistent? Bottom line, it has to be ready for a peer to review it. Okay, on to section 4, running final diagnostics. Your report is assembled, it's passed the first round of QC, now it's time for final diagnostics. These are quick, pass-fail checks to make sure everything is working just right. First diagnostic. Timeline validation. This is more than just counting to see if you have 7 milestones. You need to actually go back and check your citations. Does the source really say what you're claiming it says? This is how you make sure your history is 100% accurate and properly sourced. Next up, linkage accuracy.
This is super important because it's really the heart of your analysis. You're checking that dedicated linkage section to make sure you have at least 4 clear, cited connections between a historical event and an architectural choice. This is where you connect the why to the how.
And a quick bibliography check. You can see it on the chart here. Are about 30% of your sources primary sources? That means things like white papers and engineering blogs. You need at least 3 of these to really anchor your report in solid evidence.
Okay, Section 5, shipping your capstone. Once every diagnostic check comes back pass and all the lights are green, congratulations! Your report is ready to go. It's time to ship it. And as you hit that final save button, just keep this in mind. Evidence anchors claims, linkage shows causality, clarity enables assessment. These are the 3 pillars of a fantastic report. Evidence makes you credible, linkage shows you've done the deep thinking, and clarity means people can actually understand your great ideas. And remember, your final deliverable isn't just a PDF. It's the whole package, the submission-ready file, a guide for your peer reviewers, and a cover note. This shows you're not just smart, you're a professional. So this brings us to a really interesting question to think about. How does understanding the why behind Solana's architecture, the history that shaped it, change how you view its future? Because this whole process, it's not just about writing a history paper. It's about gaining a much deeper insight that prepares you for what's coming next. We really hope this blueprint helps you craft an absolutely outstanding report on Solana's journey and its architecture. This explainer was created by Forge College. And hey, if you want to learn more about Solana, Rust, and other topics in the Web3 space, come visit us at forge.college. Thanks for tuning in.